Oh, did I do the better viewed on YouTube? I think I did. Are we
Oh,
live?
no.
We're live. We're live. What's going
Oh,
on,
we're live.
everybody? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing on a Wednesday afternoon? Basketball's back, so it's like I kind of got basketball in the background, which is
Sure.
exciting. I'll tell you what,
Sweet.
I was gonna intently watch a Pistons game. I watch all the Nets games, so it's like I don't really get to see every team. I watch the Magic games too because they're close to home. And I'm sorry this is a Giant stream, but I got basketball on the brain.
Yep.
And I go to watch a Pistons game. I'm like, I want to see Cade Cunningham, the first overall pick, and he's not playing, which is very frustrating.
Stinks. Never
What's
heard of him.
Yeah. What's going on, chat? We got Daniel Lucas who says, if Jesus was a football fan, which team would he like the most? And then AV Mail with a great question. Most Jesuses I know cheer for the Cowboys, but I'm in Los Angeles. And I know a Jesus, and believe it or not, he actually is a Cowboys fan.
Wow. City of Angels, some say.
All right, so ask some questions. Why are the numbers so low? Wow, that's depressing. How low
I had to refresh a little bit to get the stream. People will get in here. Hi, Bobby Skinner. I'm rooting for basketball. I'm rooting for all the basketball. Go basketball. Go the basketball. Whatever team you root for, I will also root for. Knicks, Nets, sure. I'm good. Did stats report. I'm excited that there's 2 home games in a row. Get to go to another Giants game this Sunday, no matter the results. At least my morning will be good and the afternoon will be bad. So I'm excited for it. We're still in October. We gotta still get excited about this team, I guess, sometimes.
Jesus would be a fan of the New Orleans Saints. Duh. I actually disagree.
Duh.
Let us tell us your basketball team in the chat. Unless it's the Knicks, then I don't want to hear it.
Well, you're gonna have a lot of silent people then.
Yeah, I know. Here's something I want to talk about that we probably won't talk about on tomorrow's preview pod or Friday's preview pod when people when it comes out. What did you think about Jabrill Peppers' press conference today?
I don't mind. Again, it's a bad thing to ask me about press conferences because I don't mind it.
I'm not saying to mind it, but you got to have some like I mean, I clipped it. He had 15 answers in 50 seconds. Like he's very it's very clear that he's frustrated.
He wants out.
I don't know what it is. Does he want out? Is he not happy with winning? Does he upset at the fan? Like I don't know what it is. Is he frustrated? He may not want out, but he might be frustrated. It's like, why am I covering Cooper Kupp and getting the hate?
I would want out.
So
in a contract year, not only are they reducing his playing time, but because they're not putting him in the same role that he was in years past, it's making his numbers look worse. He's allowing a 90% completion rate this year when he's targeted. 90%. When last year it was like 63%.
Yeah, that's insane, to make that type of jump. And safeties don't get paid a lot anyways, especially, strong safeties. If you're a real deal free safety, you might get some money. But there really isn't any real deal like Ed Reed type players in the NFL anymore. Like
is Derwin James the closest thing to it? Minka?
Yeah, Minka. Actually, yeah, Minka's real deal. So there is guys out there.
Who's the dude on Arizona? He's more of like a box
Buda
guy,
Baker.
Right? Yeah.
I feel like he plays strong. I don't know, but
I feel like
regardless,
he's more of a box guy. Yeah.
Regardless, he's got to be. He's frustrated for, like you said. There's multiple reasons for him to be frustrated. Not having a contract. I mean, that's for one. He's probably seeing like if we can kind of put the 2 and 2 together, like he's not in the plans for this team. Like okay, so can Jabrill Peppers.
Yeah, it was the same thing with Landon Collins, where we kind of knew it, and
yeah. So it's like what are you going to get for 8 games? Like what type of value are you going to get for 8 games of Jabrill Peppers? So that's why I don't see anyone. Maybe someone would trade for Evan Engram, but I don't see any trades happening because it's like, what is someone going to trade for 8 games of Jabrill Peppers or 8 games of Evan Engram?
I think the Chiefs would trade something. The Browns are struggling with injuries right now. Well, on Browns, that'd be funny if Jabrill goes back to Cleveland. But, I think there are teams around the National Football League that are struggling defensively. And in particular, there are some really bad secondaries right now in the NFL. And that's why it was kind of refreshing at the start of the year. It's like, oh, look at all these, corners that are going down and all these secondaries around the NFL that are struggling. And they're especially struggling to start early in the season. So I get your point where it's like eight games from a a box safety. It's like, who would want that? But I think certain teams would sign up for that. So
Jason Ramsey makes a good point. Is the compensatory pick for Evan Engram better than the trade? I'm not exactly
question.
Huh?
We're back to those kind of questions.
Yeah.
Every year.
With Landon, like, I don't know what was offered for Landon. I know Matt Miller lied and said he was offered a first rounder, and which is just like,
no.
Come on. Like, stop making stuff up, Matt Miller. You're always wrong with every source you've ever had. But like for Landon, like the comp pick probably was better than what was being offered for him. You know, where you got a 3rd round pick. But at the same time, like no one on this, like Evan Engram and Jabrill Peppers aren't getting that Landon Collins contract, not even close to it. So it would probably be a 6th or a 7th round, you know, comp pick for those guys. You know, so I would rather like take what you can get because we're not going to spend this off season. So we will get some comp picks for 2023, I would assume, but they're probably going to be like 6th, 7th round picks. You know.
Yeah, because no one's getting paid. No one's getting paid Landon money. You know, the reason why the comp pick. Who was the comp pick that we got for Landon? Was that
O'Shane
Matt Parrott?
No,
O'Shane.
It was the pick we traded. It was Matt Parrott. Yes, it was Matt Parrott.
Oh, it was
because we traded our regular 3rd round pick to the Jets, and then the other Leonard. 3rd round pick was Matt Parrott because it was a late 3rd rounder. Matt Parrott was a late end of the 3rd round.
Okay.
You know.
All right, cool.
So, but you know, we're not gonna. So maybe they get something in comp picks, but
yeah, like we're not gonna get it like a 3rd rounder like that because the amount of money that he was paid, and then you know, I think he played a decent amount of games the next year. Yeah, no, that's not.
Yeah, it's going to be a 6th or 7th rounder most likely. Yeah. Which hey, I'll take him, but it sucks they couldn't figure something out. Like Evan Ingram's not making an impact, which is it's like which is frustrating. It's like, why didn't you move off this guy? But what's more frustrating is like everyone's injured and Evan Ingram's not like not even putting up yards. Like he could be like last year he put up yards. Yeah, I think he averaged over 50 yards per game. But it was like, you're pissed off about all the other stuff. This year it's just like they're not even targeting him. And I don't know if it's like on the film review, the interception that was on the curl to the left, it was like, DJ, throw that ball to Engram. Throw that ball to Engram on the seam, but then I'm like, is that even a clear out? Because Evan Ingram's looking back at the ball at like 10 yards into a seam route. So like that doesn't make any sense. So I don't know.
Do you think there's like a trust issue there? Because I'll admit, if I'm Daniel Jones and how many interceptions and not even just interceptions, but how many just overall negative plays happen when you throw the ball to Evan Engram. Like I get it, they probably are, they're probably good friends. Evan Ingram's a great teammate. We've heard nothing bad about him teammate wise, but if I'm a quarterback throwing you the ball, I don't know. I think I would lose some trust in you from year to year based off what he did last year.
See, I almost said that because there was a couple times where he should have pulled the trigger. Like in the 4th quarter, I didn't put any of the 4th quarter plays on the film review because it's pointless. But there was another time it's like, dude, pull the trigger right here to the tight end. I thought that, but I'm also like, Daniel Jones he just seems like the kind of guy who like doesn't hold that stuff. I don't know. But at the same time, it's like if he's out there, you got to throw him the ball.
Yeah. And also at least what they were doing with Evan Engram towards the second half of last year is they were kind of flanking him out wide and they were throwing him the ball vertically down the field. His yards before the catch last year in weeks 1 through 8 was the lowest of his career. But then weeks 9 through 17, it was the highest of his career. And actually, when you look at his entire body of work in 2020, weeks 1 through 17, it was the highest of his career, like overall. So what that told me is that, yeah, especially towards the second half of the year, they were using him vertically down the field. And Evan Ingram's strongest trait, and this isn't saying much, Evan Ingram's strongest trait is running a straight line. I mean, that is his strongest. Yeah. That is his strongest trait. And the fact that was going to be his role this year, like, hey, in my brain, I'm like, you know what? You have Caden Smith, you have Kyle Rudolph, use those guys in the intermediate part of the field, and then flank Evan Engram out wide, use them down as vertically down the field. And they're just not doing that. They're doing nothing, which is very, very frustrating. That we have all these tight ends, 1st round label on Evan Engram, a lot of money with Kyle Rudolph and Caden Smith, who's probably one of the best tight end threes in the National Football League, and we use none of them. So
wonderful. And Caden Smith is injured this week. Thank you, Tuto.
Oh, great. Oh, thank you, Tuto.
AV Mail says, Mara out TG shirts, please. We can't get any shirts right now, so sorry.
And also no names. We can't really do names on shirts.
Yeah, we can't. I need Joe Brady to come save this offense.
I would like that.
Yeah, if we move off from Joe Judge in the year, I am all in on bringing in an offensive mind, bring in an offensive coordinator. So. Ooh, Steven Toronto, who covers the Panthers a little bit, says, no, you don't. Joe Brady is the most overrated OC in football. That's interesting.
Wow, we may have to have a talk, Steven, because at this point, it's like, when I say that I would be interested in Joe Brady, is that me saying that I've done all of my research? No, I'm in the month of October and we're in week 6, and I don't think my mental health can handle really being well prepared out for future head coaching candidates. So I would have to hear what Steven Toronto has to say, because I would trust Steven Toronto with my life.
That's why if you reply to our mailbag tweet and say any GM candidates, that question is never going to get onto the mailbag until maybe the last 3 weeks of the year. We might start prepping for that a little bit, but like right now, it's like we're not until Gettleman's fired. I'm not doing research on GM candidates, which is already hard enough to do because like you don't know anything. You're just basically like, hey, like this guy worked with some people that do a good job.
Yeah, like Dodds. Isn't Dodds from Indianapolis?
Yeah.
Like everybody wants him. Well, it's like, well, again, and this goes with like whole Chris Mara thing. Like, what does he do? What does Dodds do? We don't really know.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, unless like I will whatever GM they get, I'm not gonna have a huge opinion on it unless it's from someone already in the building. Like even Kyle O'Brien, I know he's only been here 1 year, gonna be mad. Kevin Abrams would be mad. Chris Pettit would be mad. If it's anyone that's in the building, I'm gonna be mad. Other than that, it's like I'm not gonna have some. We will give you a better analysis of it than anyone. We're gonna do. We'll do. A ton of research, but it's hard to judge someone unless they've already done the job before. Like a Gettleman did, that one we could have judged very much so, but this one, if the guy hasn't been a GM before, it's hard to judge.
Yeah, and also I'm really going to be looking at philosophy, of I will take that opening press conference if they talk about philosophical things. If they say, we're going to come out and we're going to kick ass, I'm not going to take that seriously. But if they talk about philosophy, about whether it is the draft, whether it is what they want in an offense, what they're looking for in a defense, I'm going to take comments like that seriously, about explosive plays. And I would love to hear, again, we're really fishing for some talking points here, but I would love to hear comments like this is an offensive league. I would like to hear comments like you got to stop the explosive play. You got to produce the explosive play. So things like that. I would like to hear that.
What organization it's like, all right, that's the one I want to pull from. Because part of me says the Ravens because they've done so well with the draft. But part of me is like, well, we don't really know what the Ravens' offensive philosophy is because they have a quarterback unlike any other.
Right. But they are a football team, though. So here's the rebuttal to that. They are a football team that has changed the most for their quarterback out of any franchise. Fair. I think I'm young, but they have changed everything that they've done. Greg Roman has changed. He initially changed everything. And now, because Lamar is maturing a little bit and because Lamar's getting better as a thrower, they're trusting him more. And now they're implementing more of like the prototypical offensive ways to kind of move the ball and what Greg Roman kind of wants to do more under center this year with Lamar Jackson. That was a talking point coming out of Ravens camp this year. But they initially, when they drafted Lamar, they didn't just say, we are going to force you to be something that you're not. They allowed him to succeed in the way that he could be successful. And they've changed based on the personnel, not changing the personnel based on what they want to do as coaches, which is something that I thought Judge was going to do to kind of start, but not, kind of hasn't happened. You're muted, Bobby.
And I was even commenting. I was saying that was a great point. I was like, that was an astute point. Michael Rossi, our guy, says, Bobby, what are you drinking? I am drinking water, but there's a little bit of coffee left in because I had a coffee before this.
Sure.
In the Dunkin' Donuts cup. Dunkin' Donuts gets a lot of free ads from me, but it's okay. Jonathan Pantoja, we need help in the secondary and outside linebacker. And we have 2 rookies coming back in those positions. Big chances. Positions, big chance for them. What's your expectations with those 2? Zilch. Zero. Nada. Capiche? I have no expectations for him. And Joe Judge said in his press conference today, he's like, these guys didn't even get camp.
No,
like they are coming. Like Xavier, he's like he referenced Xavier. He's like, he got a training camp and then he got injured, and we still had to slow him, like bring him back slowly. So if maybe after the bye week you can expect a little bit out of them, but until for the next month, I would expect to see Andrew Thomas play more earlier than I would expect those guys to play.
Yeah, and Ellerson was a project to begin with.
Right. Robinson, they had bigger plans for, but
yeah, no, they definitely did. I mean, you can just see. I think it was you or somebody else who brought up the point that possibly why they're not using Peppers in the box so much is because they were planning on their slot corner in Aaron Robinson being like was this Diggy that was talking about this when we had him on?
I think it was.
So, and this is a great point, which the Giants low-key should have changed after Robinson went down, and they knew that they weren't going to be without him, or maybe that's why they put Peppers at slot corner this week, because they wanted to put him in the box more, but he was covering Cooper Kupp, which makes no sense. So I get that idea, and that's why you draft Aaron Robinson, but they just didn't adjust. And again, you felt like the 2020 defense made those adjustments, and 2021 defense is not making those adjustments. So Research Rick tweeted something today, which I thought was very interesting about Patrick Graham in this defense. Minkah Fitzpatrick in 2019, he wanted out. After having a stellar rookie year, he wanted out. He felt like his role of being, I believe he was a corner, but he wanted to go to safety.
They were playing him as a box safety that first game.
So he wanted out of, Brian Flores's and Patrick Graham's defense. He just felt like he wasn't going to succeed. And then boom, he gets traded to Pittsburgh and he becomes like an all-pro player. So do we feel, is this a possible something that may be creeping in the back of your brain? 2020, Patrick Graham was forced to run his defense in a certain way because you had a lack of CB2, you had a rookie slot corner, but you did have a cornerback one who was doing his job. But now that Patrick Graham has gotten a little bit more freedom this year with the players and the supposed playmakers that are on this defense, do you feel like he's resorted back to maybe some of his ways that he did in Miami that didn't work, and players like Minkah Fitzpatrick got frustrated with, where you're trying to put those the square pegs into round holes?
Yeah, but I will say, like, Patrick Graham, it's not like we're running, here is what the Giants system is. Like, they are throwing a ton of different stuff out there.
Yeah.
But I think the most disappointed I've been in Patrick Graham all year is, like, there's definitely been stuff I don't like, but it was this past week. It's like, why? I just don't get I can get the thinking behind certain things, even though there may not be good results for us. Like, I understand what you were thinking here. Like, I understand why you ran soft zone Washington week 2 after what happened week 1, and then you going back to playing more man coverage and playing guy. Like, I understand why you're trying to do 2 high safeties and stuff. What I don't understand is why Jabrill Peppers was ever being put in man coverage versus Cooper Kupp.
There are 3 better options at slot corner on this roster than Jabrill Peppers, and
that's just like, I just don't understand that at all. Like, there's no way you can make me understand that, and that's the most disappointed I've been in Patrick Graham so far. Tom Bredworth says America football is not a sport. Fact. The rest of the world laughs at you guys. Well, that's not true, because Patreon is very international. How about that? So
how do these people find these streams? That's my question.
Know. I mean, credit to them for Bobby D, McDonald's eater.
Sure.
McDonald's is like the only fast food place like I won't go to. He says, you sounds like a McDonald's consumer. Doesn't he have any more things? Come on. What do you got,
At least
Tom?
I'm not being called fat this time. That's great.
Yeah, I know.
It's a big win for me.
Come on, Tom. You got anything more for us, Tom? This is boring. Tom, you're a boring person. Maybe that's why you don't understand football, because you're just so boring. The Giants win 6 games, will Bobby shave his head bald. No, but I might just shave it for the hell of it. I'm going to get a haircut before I come up for the Philly game.
I need a haircut.
No,
should I shave everything off again?
No, don't do that.
I thought it looked bad, but it felt good.
Shane Kinlan, look. Oh yeah, it definitely feels better with short hair. Shane Kinlan, look how bad OBJ trade panned out. Zeitler walk, Peppers virtually abandoned, Dexter Lawrence non-fact. I want to say that Dexter Lawrence actually had a good game, but I'm not in the mood to be like, this guy actually had a good game. I don't know what Gettleman trade any.
He blows.
He blows.
2-2.
I actually was talking about Odell with somebody today and talking about media.
Yeah.
And it just reminded me, it's like, gosh, I hate Odell so much. I was talking about Kadarius Toney. I was like, he's going to be a star. And I was like, and if he has flaws, at least he's a very real person. And it reminded me of like, I just hated how manipulative Odell was with people. And there's nothing I can't stand more in a person than being manipulative. Like once I could pinpoint someone as a manipulative person, I'm just like out on that type of person. Yeah. I'm talking about more in real life than I am with like NFL players. But like that might be the trait I can't stand the most in people is being manipulative. But we're not here to talk about Odell.
No, but I guess why not talk about the trait? This will never be a podcast discussion. At least maybe not until Gettleman's fired. But I mean, even if Jabrill Peppers walks, Bobby, to have a playmaker who was really good for this team in 2019 and 2020, one of those seasons where 2019 we were just thirsting for some sort of playmaker, right? And then 2020, once the defense actually got good, he fit in a certain role. I'm not going to fault the Odell Beckham trade for getting that third-round pick, for that third-round pick really being really, really bad. That's on the organization where they need to capitalize on that third-round pick and, stop picking these, guys from no-name schools and these Senior Bowl standouts and to be really big superstars, because now, while Darnay Holmes and O'Shane had like solid rookie years and they were Senior Bowl standouts, well, where are they now? And Dexter Lawrence is a player that was really good, that still has the potential to be really, really good. I'm not ready to give up on Dexter Lawrence, even though I'm really frustrated with him.
I think Dexter Lawrence is our best trade bait.
Get some better edge presence in here where those guys can actually win some one-on-ones, and let's see how this defense can do with the interior being as good as it is. So that's where I'm at right now. So that's where I'm at with the Beckham trade.
Yeah, I still view. I can't stand Odell, but I really don't even feel like rehashing that so long ago.
Yeah, well, he's done nothing. He's literally done nothing.
Yeah, it's like he is basically like ineffective. Dallas is dominant after finding guys. Could you imagine if we got Kellen Moore? We just
as a head coach.
Yeah, could you? It'd be kind of crazy.
I don't know if I would want that. Just young, really young.
I know. Almost looks like. How old is Kellen? Am I older than Kellen? Because he played Kellen Moore age.
He looks my age.
33 years old. Yeah, he's very young.
He is 10 years older than me.
I think he would be this. I think Sean McVay is still the youngest coach in the NFL, by the way.
Yeah.
He's 35 now. It's crazy how young Sean McVay was when he.
I'm kind of open to anything. I really am open to anything. If we have a coach. Like we know Kellen Moore's philosophy, and that philosophy is one that is solid. I mean, he runs one of the most diverse offenses in the league, where he prioritizes whatever's working. Where you saw, Bobby's whole talking point when we played Dallas was that Dallas offense just takes what the defense is giving to them, and he was the only guy that was lasted from that Garrett coaching staff. So he lasted there for a reason. But it's just another one of those things where, okay, so we're going to evaluate Kellen Moore with these all-pro, Pro Bowl wide receivers, with a solid, top 10 quarterback, a really, really good running back, a really, really good offensive line, and now he's going to be coming into a system for the first time ever where the players are bad. That's the only thing.
That's why they beat us, so I didn't say much of it. And by talking with our Patreon people. Arthur Smith, who's the Falcons coach, I'm like, he's a horrible play caller. I was like, he's not a good play caller. It was just intended. Like, I was like, I can't believe the way he calls this game with this Atlanta offense, with this Atlanta personnel. It's like, you keep on running on first down, and it's like, and you're not good at it. Like, you're playing anyways. So yeah, that would be the worry with Kellen. Mr. Wilkins says Kellen Moore ain't going anywhere. That's
it's probably true. I wouldn't go anywhere if I was him. I'm still 13, and I'm the offense coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. So.
Yeah, I mean, that guy's not a Cowboys fan who's just hoping. Let's see. I think Brett Bielema leaving last December is a factor of the edge room being bad. Sucks to lose good coaches, but understand his decision. He got more out of last year than we are currently getting. I do agree with that, but also it's like we should not be expecting our outs. Like I don't put too much on position coaches anymore. It's like, players need to develop and they put in the work in the offseason without their position coaches. And position coaches definitely help, but it's like I'm more about coordinators than I am about like position coaches. O-line is different because you're managing like 5 pieces in one, so they have to be working together.
O-line coach is the most important position coach. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like at the same time, it's like football players kind of got to get better on their own, and that happens. And so it's like I'm not going to be mad at, Kevin Sherrer for Lorenzo Carter, O'Shane Zimenez, and Azeez Ojulari not being a good edge group. Yeah,
because so much time is spent out of the building during the offseason. It used to be different. The game used to be different 10, 20, 30 years ago where, you're living and you're breathing at the facility, and that's where you're getting better. But now, because of the collective bargaining agreement, there's only so much time that you could spend in the organization, only so much time that you can have on the practice field. There's no more 2-a-days. That's the thing that's crazy, Bobby. I mean, you're a guy that played, you played in high school, you played in college, and you didn't play that long overall. But I can't fathom them, like, professional football players not having 2-a-days. I can't fathom that.
Yeah, I'm kind of mad that I didn't get to grow up in a time where there was no 2-a-day. Like 2-a-days suck. So Baptiste says, I believe the Giants hate me. Wow, they hate all of us.
Yeah, really do.
Can't make bad players great. They are what they are. Yeah, which is like if you can give Bielema credit for turning bad players into close to average players.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's see. 2-a-days in high school was all, and we used to lift too. Like 2-a-days, like that was hell, man. Like we literally called it Hell Week, but it was, God, those 2 weeks were just so.
They don't do any of that shit anymore. They don't do any of that. Like,
I know.
Pat Shermer and Ben McAdoo's practices. I think Judge's practices were a little different from what I've seen from the joint practices in New England. Those were the only Joe Judge practices I've ever seen. I don't count the MetLife, whatever happened this summer at the Fan Fest. That doesn't count. But I mean, McAdoo and Shermer, I was at almost every single public practice that was open to the public. They were playing patty cake. I mean, it was embarrassing. They had team period, and that's when you got on the edge of your seat. But rather than that, it's just fucking patty cake. So
it's pat you on the head, Shermer.
Yeah. Justin would be a lizard.
Did you see the lizard on my car? Which,
yes.
By the way, I'm a car. I have never owned a car in my life. I've always driven a truck, and I just this week is the first time I've ever been a car owner.
How does it feel? Does it feel better?
I beat on it a little more. Like I'm punching that. I'm punching the gas in it.
Oh, okay.
Thought
you said something different.
Relax. Yeah, but it's an 03 Crown Vic and it only has 90,000 miles on it. So I'll sell it.
That's new.
I know. It was an old lady. She didn't drive it, and now she's dead.
Now, do you still have another vehicle? Do you still have a truck too?
Yeah, I still have a truck. So, and this is the first time I'm a 2-vehicle owner. So how about that, Mr. Big? So if y'all need some money, just let me know. Bobby will give you a nice little loan, with some interest, 20%. 2 points. 20 points on it. So yeah.
Way to go.
But like my trucks, I've always been like, I kind of need this for work, like if you're without this, and it's like, I got a second vehicle now. It's like, I can afford to beat the crap out of this one. If it breaks down, I can, just drive my other vehicle.
Right on. I'm excited for you.
Bobby G says, rest in peace, that woman. She helped the cause low. And I forged her signature.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this was necessary with the whole DMV thing, correct?
So I took the title. It didn't have her signature on it. So I went to the DMV a week ago, and we'll get back on.
And you got mad. You got really, really mad.
Yeah, I was pissed. I went and they're like, where's the second signature on this? And I was like, she died. And they're like, yeah, but you need to have like it needs to have a second signature. But I was like, but she's dead. And I was like, it has a signature of the other person. Like, doesn't matter. 2 names, it needs to have a signature. And I was like, well, what am I? I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
You're going to resurrect her, sir. That's what you have
so
to
I
do.
literally just rescheduled a new appointment, and then forged her signature.
Did you boo the DMV
This
guys?
is parody, by the way. I'm totally lying. I'm making up stories for comedy.
For content. Did you boo the DMV like you said you were going to on the podcast?
No, I couldn't do it.
What?
She was a nice lady.
Oh, okay.
But I thought about it. And there was one guy. Anyways. All right, let's get back on the Giants. I'm a French Giants fan. So suck it, Brad or whatever that guy's name was.
Yeah.
This situation sucks. If DJ still isn't what shows us he'll be gone this offseason. The season is the worst I've felt for the team. I mean, he's going to be gone.
Yes.
I mean, I would be blown away if he's not gone. Let's see. Said you had me in the first half, not going to lie. Yeah, I just wanted to, just in case there was, some FBI guy listening or something. I don't know.
I'd consider shaving off an eyebrow if Dave Gettleman is retained.
You should do both.
Yeah, well, does Kadarius Toney have like a thing why he doesn't have eyebrows? I don't think it's by choice. But I would join him in solidarity.
Yeah, I have zero clue.
No, I want to shave off one eyebrow if Dave Gettleman is kept.
But then we'll be doing like some big episodes and people will be looking at your face like just the entire time like, why does you have one eyebrow?
How long does it take for eyebrows to grow?
I remember they shaved some kids off in high school. I can't remember how long it took them to grow back. All right. No one's really asking football questions, and that's our fault because we got off subject.
3 to 4 months.
Steve Ukren says, "Why are you keeping Judge? What does he do well?" I mean, I think both of us are on the not keeping Judge. Right? I think both. Like, if the season ended today, would you keep Judge or no? My answer is no.
No, you have to keep the GM and the coach in line, and it's unfortunate because Judge, similar to Shermer in some ways. McAdoo, I'm never going to excuse firing him, even though some say that he had too short of a leash. But
no, he should have been fired.
He should have been fired. But similar to Shermer, like kind of like the sacrificial lamb, so to speak, for bad roster construction and lofty expectations that maybe the team shouldn't have had in the first place.
Will KT be wide receiver 1? So I saw someone because you know what happens when the Giants are really bad and we're in there's very real big criticisms to have, but also what that turns into is like, okay, now we got to criticize literally everything. So I Big Blue United was like, Kenny Galladay has this big contract and he might not even be wide receiver 1 next year because of Kadarius Toney. And like, don't you realize that's a good thing? That just means that's a great thing. That's awesome. That is a great thing. That means we got 2 really good wide receivers. Like Kenny Galladay is a very good player. He's not some rookie that's unproven that we thought was going to be good. Yeah. Like, he's a really good wide receiver. And so if Kadarius Toney can be that number 1 and Kenny Galladay, like that's awesome. Like, that's a huge, win for the quarterback going forward. So
yeah, sometimes we don't know when we have a good thing when it bites us in the ass. And having Kenny Galladay and Kadarius Toney on the same team, who cares who's the number 1 wide receiver? Odds are, a guy like Galladay maybe I think Toney would have more catches, definitely, and then possibly more yards. But Toney's been averaging like the same amount of yards per reception as Galladay, but he's been catching the majority of his balls like behind the sticks, which is like good. That's like what you want out of a first round draft pick, where you're drafting not just to be a contested catching guy, but yards after the catch, breaking tackles, dynamic playmaker, a guy that can catch the ball in the intermediate part of the field, and a guy who maybe can catch it a little bit deeper, but still create those explosive plays. That's what you want. So that's a very, very good problem to have. The Giants wide receiver corps is the least of my issues kind of like going forward. So
Jaden Bailey, fan from Australia. So suck it. Besides edge, O-line, and coaching, what do you think our biggest weakness is?
Edge, O-line, and coaching.
Would you say inside linebacker now that Blake is gone?
Yeah, and coaching counts as play caller too. So yeah, edge O-line coaching. Yeah, inside linebacker.
Yeah, I mean you took out like the big three.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Slot corner.
Steven Engram made a good point. Oh, I hit the wrong one. He said everything else though, which I thought was pretty. Everything else. So
yeah.
Which is a pretty funny comment. Can we judge Daniel Jones with all his injuries? Yes, you can, but you got to use your brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be black or white where you can judge or you can't judge. You use your brain.
Use
watch how he plays. Are there opportunities for explosive plays, which is sometimes hard to see from the broadcast angle, but that's why you got us. You got us to dissect that. Is he making good decisions with the ball? The first, however many 5 games of the season, it was yes. Against the Rams, no. He was not making good decisions with the football. So, you use your brain. The whole thing is from last Sunday is don't let a game like that stack on top of each other. Let's get back to the narrative that you're having a better season than your first previous 2, and you're doing good things with the football. Now it's going to be tougher because I think Jason Garrett is going to revert back to the stick and curl.
He already did.
Lack of wide receiver separation, especially without Kadarius Toney. So he's already there. So it's going to get tougher for Daniel Jones. So that's why you have to use your brain. And, Bobby and I will be leading that charge just like we did last year of, we gave Jason Garrett the credit where it was due of he was doing some good things with the offense. And now we'll give the criticism again. So
Klingus Chingus, how has Andrew Jones played? I'm a UGA Falcons fan and wanted to see how he's been doing. He has been the MVP of the offense, but now he's injured.
Yeah.
Like if the season ended today, I was like offensive MVP. My answer is, well, I'll say most outstanding player because quarterback is going to be the most valuable. But I would say Andrew Thomas would win my MVP.
I think you would have an argument for most valuable.
Okay.
Because you're seeing what's happening without him on the field.
Let's do our awards. All right, MVP of the offense, I would say Andrew Thomas. Would you say Andrew Thomas? You okay. Defensive MVP. I said Leonard Williams yesterday. Do you agree with that?
I would say Dory Jackson. In terms of value.
Okay. What were the awards we did last year? Here, let me see if I can find a tweet real quick and we'll go through it real quick and then you can leave to do your Twitter spaces.
It's like the best way to grow on Twitter. It's nuts.
I know. I don't know how to do it though. My phone was showing like it. All right. Most underrated right now. Who would be your most underrated player?
Most underrated? On the defense?
Just on the team.
On the team. Most underrated. Oh boy.
I'll say Adoree Jackson. You said defensive MVP, so I'll say Adoree Jackson.
Then I guess for most underrated, should I say Leonard Williams?
Eric says Adoree Jackson has been sucked. Been sucking.
No.
Wrong.
No, not
You're
really.
just wrong. Most improved.
Daniel Jones?
Yeah, that's fair. Daniel Jones. You could maybe say Andrew Thomas. Most underwhelming. James Bradbury.
James Bradbury or Kyle Rudolph, because Kyle Rudolph's just nothing.
And then Rookie of the Year, Kadarius Toney.
Rookie of the Year, Kadarius Toney.
All right, so that's our awards. Justin has to go do his Twitter Spaces.
Yes.
Do you part host them? Because I have
yes.
like a new Spaces button on my Twitter app. I want you to just tell me if you can see my request when I go on there. I'll send you a DM when it's requested, and then just let me know. I don't even want to join. I got some stuff to do.
Okay.
But just let me know because I tried starting my own and it just didn't work. All right, go. Okay. Bye. Appreciate you guys. Let's go, Big Blue. See you. Bye.